Here we go.
Okay.
Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tonight, our guest is CRIS Ann Hernandez, mother of 4, registered nurse, medullary cystic kidney survivor, kidney advocate who is in need of a kidney transplant herself. CRIS began her battle with kidney disease in 2016 when she was diagnosed with the very aggressive medullary cystic kidney disease, abbreviated as MUC, MUC1, an inherited aggressive autosomal dominant disease that ravaged her kidneys in only 3 short years. Medullary cystic kidney disease is a rare condition in which small fluid-filled sacs called cysts form in the center of the kidneys, causing scarring, which occurs in the tubules of the kidneys. Urine travels through the tubules from the kidneys through the urinary system, and this scarring causes these tubules to malfunction. As a result, her kidneys have failed, and she is currently seeking a kidney transplant. This has been a very difficult time for CRIS, as she is highly sensitized with an extremely high rate of antibodies, and she needs to find almost a perfect match. High levels of antibodies in the blood can make it difficult to find a kidney donor that is compatible with the recipient. This is because the antibodies can react against the donor cells and organs, potentially destroying the transplanted kidney. This is known as a positive cross match. And our friend CRIS has been waiting over 5 years now for a kidney transplant. CRIS is currently listed in 2 places, the University of Illinois Health in Chicago. You can contact Anita Parasi, P-A-J-R-A-S-I, at 312-355-9820, 312-355-9820. She's also registered at the Hackensack University Medical Center in Hackensack, New Jersey. Her coordinator there is Chile Lou Alvarez at 551-996-3170. That's 551-996-3170. Hackensack University, as well as the University of Illinois Health in Chicago, accept paired donation exchanges, so anyone can donate on CRIS's behalf. She has been advised by her doctor, and we're going to get into some detail when we discuss this tonight, that any donor will do. So no matter what blood type you are, you can donate to CRIS. All of this that's been going on with CRIS has not stopped her from advocating on behalf of kidney patients in Washington, D.C. With the AAKP, the American Association of Kidney Patients. So even though she's been ill, even though she's had some problems, she's still advocating for all of us. So please give a warm, warm welcome to our friend, CRIS ANN HERNANDEZ. CRIS, how are you doing tonight?
Hi, Uncle Jim. I'm okay, thank you. Today was a good day for me. You know, we
Good
we
day
have
today.
yeah, we have our good days and we have our bad days. Especially me. I've had not well, kind of hard to sit in the dialysis chairs nowadays because of the allergies I'm having at dialysis. We can't figure out what's going on. But thank you for inviting me here, Uncle Jim.
My great pleasure. Our friend Bobby Reed is on with the broadcast tonight. She says hello.
Hi, Bobby. How are you? Um, yeah, I've met so many wonderful people along the way in my kidney journey, and I've learned so much about kidney disease and how it affects us all differently, but equally just as hard, I would say. Um, it's just been a really, really hard journey. I was talking to you backstage. I didn't think that 5 years later I still be looking for a kidney. I thought I would have uh, had a transplant by now, and I guess COVID kind of threw a damper in my kidney donor search because back when right before COVID happened in March, early March 2020, I was interviewed by NBC, and a good friend now, Regina Waldrop, Regina Mendel, she goes by both last names. Um, she uh, did an interview, and I tell you, Uncle Jim, I must have had over 150 people apply to be my donor. And the charge nurse, I called the hospital, and he had told me, Christine, I've never seen so many people like inundate our application system, and they're all for you. And then COVID happened, and everything kind of shut down. They stopped uh, um, doing processing people because uh, literally the next day was when everything shut down. Like the
Mm.
night before was my story, and the next day everything started to shut down, and people already started to put the applications in, and it didn't work out. But it was all, I guess, for a reason. I'm still here, and I'm still looking for a transplant. I found out a lot about myself along the way, and my antibodies. I changed hospitals. I'm at UI Health with like this amazing surgeon. His name is Enrico Benedetti, and my nurse Anita Pacrasi. They're both a wonderful team. I know their names. We communicate. They're just like awesome people. And Dr. Benedetti tells me I'm probably the hardest person with the highest antibodies he's ever seen. That's unfortunate, right?
Right.
But he said also that I will be successful when he finds the right person for me. And he's doing what they call an incompatible kidney transplant. So it means that a person with A or B blood type or AB blood type, they could apply for me. And he's not looking at the specific blood type, he's looking at the antibodies behind them. And if it's close enough, he's going to do that incompatible transplant. And he's going to use this medication called Soliris, which was the one that my buddy in heaven used. May she rest in peace, Lana. And I have a few other friends that also used it, and they've been very successful at the transplant. Um, it's the medicine is extremely expensive. But I went and started advocating for myself, just like I advocated for my patients in the past. And I called the company straight in Italy, and I asked them. I started asking, I was being transferred from one person to another, but God sent me an angel, and they actually gave me a coupon for 12 months of the medication. The doctor said all I need is really 3 doses, but he's glad that I have the 12 months just in case I
Just in
need doses
case.
in between. I'll have them available and with no expiration, Uncle Jim. Like, it's a miracle that God put that angel in my path, because a medicine that costs almost $1 million,
Ooh,
um, uh, I got it for free,
wow.
which is amazing. And I think it's all got put in place, all these little uh, uh, people and angels. So that way, when I do get my transplant, it'll be a healthy transplant. Dr. Benedetti has me doing what they call muscle therapy twice a week, because he wants to make sure that when I do get my transplant, I'm strong enough to get it. So I do that twice a week, and no matter how tired I am, I get up and I have to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, they have
Let
a
me
they have a lot. Hmm.
let me ask a few questions, and I
Yes, of
promise
course.
you, Chris, I'm going to get to everything. Okay?
Okay.
Did I state everything correctly in the introduction? Did I make any mistakes?
Anita's last name is Pakrasi, so it's Pakrasi. Everything else was correct.
Okay. Bad Uncle Jim. There'll be a new Uncle Jim on Monday.
I don't want a new Uncle Jim. I'll take you.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about where you grew up, your education, and your employment experience.
I grew up in Brooklyn. Wait, where am I? Brooklyn, New York. I have two brothers. We grew up in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Ironically, both of my brothers have had kidney transplants. My brother Lou had one 8 years ago. His wife donated. And then my brother Frank, he had one in October of 2023. He actually uh, went from New York to Florida to get, to get treatment, because he was listed over there also. And he told me, Christine, I'm not coming back to New York till I have a kidney transplant. And would you believe he got the call? This girl went and did a living donation, like she just donated, and he happened to be there, and they were a perfect match. So I was like, wow, he's really
Awesome.
thriving. Talk about
Awesome.
yeah. And then I grew up in Brooklyn, but I moved to Chicago with my husband. I have 4 kids, 3 boys, 1 girl, and they're 29, 26, 18, and my son, he's 16. And then my daughter, she's in college. My son, he's in the 10th grade now. He's going to 11th grade. I'm blessed to have seen them grow up, because when I first got kidney failure, I didn't think I was going to be able to see these things happen, right?
Yeah.
I'm a registered nurse by trade. I graduated in 2012. I became a NICU nurse because I wanted to be a registered nurse to help moms with babies like mine. Because my son Chris, when he was born, he was really sick and in the NICU for a long time. So I accomplished that. So I'm a NICU nurse and a hospice nurse. So I've seen the beginning of life and the end of life. Which is, I feel like God permitted me to do those things and help people, like in both times of need. I've seen people at end of life with kidney disease. I've seen all different type of people at end of life and at the beginning of life. And um, my profession is a registered nurse. I hope and pray that I could go back to working once I get my kidney transplant, and this time it'll be helping patients like me that have kidney disease.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about your experience with kidney disease. Now, you mentioned that you had brothers that had the same issue. Um, and from my understanding, that's the reason in 2016 that you got tested. You really didn't have any symptoms or problems. You got tested because of your two brothers. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Seeing my brothers both sick and just going, being, in the healthcare profession, I figured my brothers both have kidney disease. Let me go down generations. So I saw that my aunts and I had two aunts and an uncle that had kidney failure. My mom had kidney disease, and I asked my PCP if I could get an evaluation for a nephrologist because I thought that there might be some kind of genetic component to the kidney disease in my family. And she didn't believe me because she thought I was a hypochondriac. But when I actually got to see a nephrologist, she gave me the referral. I saw the nephrologist, and when I saw the nephrologist, he thought, like with the labs, they didn't look so bad, but he said he wasn't convinced because of my you know um, family history of kidney disease. So he says, let me talk to a few doctors and see if they would agree with me on getting you a kidney biopsy. So he talked to a few doctors. It was like a panel of doctors. He did the biopsy, and I'll never forget, I was with my son Julian in the room, and he came in and he had like a somber face, and I said, what's going on? And he said, Christine, well, I have bad news. And I'm like, what's the bad news? He said, well, you have lost 60% function of your kidney, and your kidney disease is irreversible. And I believe you have a disease called, back then it was called medullary cystic kidney disease, which is a really rare inherited kidney disease. So I was like in denial. I asked them if there was anything we could do, like if we could do angioplasty or something to open up, the arteries of my kidneys so we could get blood flowing to them. He said, no, that was like, no, not an option for me. And it wouldn't help me anyway. And that the only two options I had was eventually I was going to need dialysis or I was going to need a transplant, either or. So I knew that was my journey. I couldn't accept it back when I first found out. I really was in denial. I mean, I went to like 3 different um opinions. Sorry, my brain's not working, Uncle Jim. So I went to 3 different doctors to try to get second opinions. I got second opinion, third opinion, and everybody told me the same thing. So by that time, in a really fast, like 2016, I found out 2019, I was going towards needing already dialysis. I started, I got a fistula because I didn't know if I was going to get a transplant. And I started my journey for transplant in 2018 because that's when my GFR had went to like 20 already. Um, the reason it took me so long to get accepted onto transplant list was because in December of 2018, I was doing my evaluation when they found a lump on my left breast. And so they started doing like a bunch of tests because in order to be on the transplant list, you can't have any cancer or anything like that. So they did 3 mammograms, and on the third mammogram, I had no symptoms. I didn't feel anything. This was something they found like in coincidence. Um, I had to have a double mastectomy because the transplant center said they won't accept me if I wouldn't uh, remove the cancer. And so I didn't even have a chance to like think about it really well, Uncle Jim. I just knew that I wanted to live and I wanted to get a kidney transplant. So I did what I had to do, right? And I think about it
Right.
now, everything happened so fast. I mean, I had the mammogram. I had like the 3 mammograms because they did 3, and then I had the double mastectomy, and I didn't even care about anything. All I cared about was getting on the transplant list. And I had a little bit of complication when I had the double mastectomy because I had bleeding inside. So I had to get blood transfusions, but I had no idea about antibodies or anything like that because I'm a nurse, but I'm not a nephrology nurse or a kidney transplant nurse. So I didn't have an experience with that. So when they did my blood work that I got accepted onto the list, they told me that I had really high antibodies, and probably what made it worse was the blood transfusion that I got right before I started, on the list. And I uh I just been waiting since, and it's been
Right.
hard. I mean, you know how hard it is, and we have our good days, we have our bad days, and dialysis is so hard for me lately. And it's not because, getting poked is nothing, or it's just sitting in the chair for such a long time and having these severe allergies that I developed this year. Don't know what it is, why it is, but the minute I get on dialysis, I start getting like hives around my mouth, my neck. I start itching severely, and it's been hard, and I know there's someone out there. Dr. Benedetti thinks that with a living donor, he has different protocols he could use that will be a little better for me, and that's why he's doing an incompatible donor, so that way we could try and get me a transplant. He says he's almost secure that with a living donor, I mean, with a deceased donor, I could, I'll be fine. But he thinks with a living donor, he has these protocols that he's been studying just for me, because of my situation with my antibodies, that he's almost sure, like he studied the different antibodies and he knows which antibodies in a living donor would be acceptable. That's why he said any blood type is accepted for me, and I hope that person's out there.
I do too. I just want to give you a break for a second, Chris. So I'm going to talk for a little bit, okay?
Okay, okay.
I want people to know that I did quite a bit of research to prepare for this broadcast, and I put the links associated with my research in the comments to the original broadcast that appears on my personal Facebook page in the comments. So if you want more information about Chris and where you can find her and about where she's listed and proper phone numbers and links to places where you can sign up to donate for Chris, that's all in that research that's in those comments. And also, during the course of this broadcast, you might notice there are banners running across your screen. That information, when we get to the point where we're going to discuss it, is in those banners. Okay? And I want to make one other point for my friend. Now, I know that all of us have kidney disease, the people that mostly are watching this. And I know that you belong to many Facebook groups. You're on many platforms that are all kidney related. And I want you to share this broadcast on those platforms so we get the word out. But please, please, please also share to your personal page. The reason I want you to share to your personal page is because you have friends that don't have kidney disease. And those of us that have kidney disease, we can't donate to CRIS. Okay? An old fart like me with PKD and only one functioning kidney, I can't donate to Christine. All right? But you have friends that are laypersons and they can. So that's why it's important that you share to your personal page. Okay. Chris, what is your full, proper Christian given name?
It's Christine Ann Hernandez.
Okay. And your date of birth is?
5/4/1975.
All right. We want to make sure that the kidney goes to the right Chris. So that's why I'm asking her for her proper name and her date of birth so that if you contact one of the two centers where she's listed, you give them proper information. And, you know, our friend gets the kidney, not somebody that you didn't mean to. All right. Tell us a little bit about medullary cystic kidney disease. You're educated medically and you've got experience with it. In your own words, what is it?
It's of course, it's a really rare disease where the kidneys have it's called MUC1 now, MUC, MUC, the number one. So our genes have different alleles, different like numbers and names, and so the MUC uh, gene is expressing itself too much, and the expression with the MUC causes the kidneys, it affects the kidneys. Then when that starts expressing itself, it causes the kidneys, the tubules, to atrophy, and it also causes little cysts, like you said, inside the tubes. um I had on my page, I have a picture of one of my kidneys because they had to remove it. It doesn't even look like a kidney. It looks like a heart, honestly speaking. It's so big, so swollen, and the cysts are inside. They're tiny cysts. The kidneys atrophy, the kidney's dead. It's no good. My other kidney is no good either. But the one that they took out, I actually donated it to the research scientist, Dr. Anthony Blyer, at Wake Forest, so they could maybe, from my kidney, get information and be able to find some kind of cure or treatment for it. And he said from my one kidney, they were able to get, I don't know how many thousand slices, for the research, and they're hoping that they could take the gene and stop it from multiplying that much. That way, they could stop the disease from ravaging other people. Maybe like my children, because my children have a 50-50 chance of inheriting it. My son Julian, he has it, but my son Isaiah doesn't. My daughter Bella is getting tested now. She says if she doesn't have it, that she would try to donate her kidney to me. She's 18.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
I feel terrible even asking her, but she offered if she's able to, if she doesn't have the disease, she would try and to be my donor. Um, and my son Christopher, which I hope he doesn't have it. He's 16, and he wouldn't even understand because he has autism. And
Aye, aye, aye.
I pray and Uncle Jim pray for him that when it's his time to test, he doesn't have it, because I would be devastated if he ends up having it. I would feel like I caused everything, you know?
Yeah, but you didn't, Chris. This has been in your family for a while. You had nothing to do with this. Just the luck of the draw,
Yeah,
my friend. Not
yeah,
anything you
and
did on purpose to hurt anyone. Tell us a little bit, since the time that you were initially diagnosed in 2016, have you had any complications or issues
uh,
since
I've
that
had
time?
I've had many complications, hospitalizations, um, high potassium. I've had surgeries. After I've had problems with my colon. Like, I've had so many issues since the time that I got diagnosed. I've had issue with my blood pressure. Actually, this weekend and past, my blood pressure was dropped to 53/20, and all I saw was like lights, stars. And I said, I was able to just say help. And when I said help, they came and they started giving me fluids. And when my blood pressure was back up to like 70/45, I started like to be able to like make sense again of stuff. And at once I was stable, that my blood pressure was like 100/74. I asked the nurse, I said, hey, how bad did it get? She said it was 53/20, Chris. Like, we were like really thinking you're gonna have to call an ambulance. And that's a scary thing for us dialysis patients, you know?
It's absolutely.
We go into dialysis, but we don't know what's gonna happen when we're in there, you know, because things happen. Our blood pressure drop. You know, the machine is artificial. It's like an artificial life support. So sometimes that happens. I've had episodes of passing out in my house. I passed out one time in my house, and I don't remember anything. All I remember was waking up to my kids screaming and crying, and my husband rushed me to the hospital because they said that I had stopped breathing. You know, so I've had episodes like that. I post a lot of like nice things on Facebook and stuff like that, and I look really healthy because I try to stay healthy, but it's not always like that, you know. It's been challenging, very challenging for me and for my family, and our lives got turned upside down when I got diagnosed. Like, we had goals and plans, and we had to put them in the back burner because of my health and my complications and my hospitalizations. And even Christmas or New Year's sometimes have to be done 2, 3 weeks later because I'm in the hospital. It's happened quite a bit with different occasions and birthdays and stuff like that. But my kids are good sports, and they understand that that sometimes with families like ours, with a dynamic like ours, you can't just celebrate birthday on a birthday or Christmas on Christmas. Um, you know, we do it when we can, and they just been good about it. I have to say, my husband, my kids, they try to make me feel good about it, but I feel terrible about it, honestly speaking.
Okay.
Um,
Wh- When you were talking about the sudden drop of blood pressure, just to make sure people understand, you were on the dialysis machine that day.
yes, I was on the
And
dialysis machine.
my best estimate of when this occurred, just so people understand how recent it really was, um, I looked the post up on your personal page, May 25th.
Yes.
I believe
Yes.
is the correct date. And
Yes.
just so people know, you have a kidney page too. That's
Yes.
called A Kidney for Christine Ann Hernandez. And the link to that, again, is in the comments to the broadcast that appears on my personal page. And I'm going to take all those links, and when we do the replay,
Yes.
okay, I'm going to put all those links in the replay too. So if people want to find out more information, those links will be there. So my notes tell me you started dialysis in 2019. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I take from what you're saying, the modality that you're on is in-center hemodialysis.
Yes. Yes, it is. In
Okay.
center.
How often do you go, and how long are your sessions?
Um, I go 3 days a week. My sessions were 4 hours. The doctor took it down a half an hour because I lost a bunch of weight. So he said as long as my numbers are okay in my monthly labs, he'll keep it like that. So at first it was like a trial uh, a few weeks ago, and now it's been good, my blood. So yeah, I do in center. I was doing home hemo, but not that I couldn't do it. I like talking to the people in center and being around people. I'm a people person, so I decided that in center was better for me. I didn't like being home. I was alone. My husband, he works. My son, uh, he's in school. My daughter's in school, so I didn't have anyone to really help me. So I was doing it all alone, and it's a lot of work. So I decided that in center was the best option for me.
So you were self-cannulating at home for a while.
Yeah, yeah, I did that for a while. And I mean, I'm an expert cannulator, but I just didn't want to be uh, home anymore. I wanted to go back in center. And even my doctor said I do better in center. I cheer up everyone at the sun in center when I walk in, and I'm just a people person, Uncle Jim,
Yeah.
and I feel like I could do better in center. People ask me.
Okay. Chris, did we lose you? Oh boy. Well,
I'm so
there's my
sorry. Can you
friend.
hear me? Yeah, I'm doing better in center, and I feel like I could help people in center too myself with my experience and stuff. The new people that come in, so I love being in center. Not something that people love, but I love being around people.
Being around other people.
Yeah.
And you get better supervision there too. That's a side benefit.
Yeah, because I was afraid of what happened to me the other day happening at home, and passing out and not having anyone there to help me. So
Okay.
I feel like I did the right choice by going back in center.
Okay. Now, just so to make it real clear for our audience, you are currently seeking a kidney transplant, correct?
Yes, I'm seeking a kidney transplant. I'm listed at UI Health, University of Illinois, Chicago. And then I'm listed also at Hackensack Meridian in New Jersey.
Okay. And you've mentioned to us you're highly sensitized with a high rate of antibodies to the point where your doctor, you mentioned, has said this is the highest rate I've ever seen, and he's telling us that because of this antibody rate, and it's such a hard rate to match that he's willing to accept a kidney donor from any person with any blood type, and then medication before and afterwards to desensitize you so that the kidney transplant works. Is that kind of a fair snapshot of what's happening with your doc?
Yes, that's exactly what he told me.
Okay. And you mentioned some of the treatment that you either will go through before transplant or you will go through after transplant. One of the treatments you mentioned was the Soliris, Soliris. Can you tell us a little bit about that? How does that
Uh,
work?
well, that medicine actually lowers my PRA, which is my antibodies, basically to zero, wipes it out. Um, Along with the Soliris, I'm gonna have IVIG treatment and plasmapheresis. Those three treatments. I might get Rituxan. So like they're gonna load me up with a bunch of medicines to be able to allow my body to accept the transplant. And actually, I had to get all these vaccines, which I already got, um, that to in order to prepare me for if and for the day that I'll get the transplant. So I think I got every vaccine in the book from A to Z, honestly speaking. And and then the IVIG, the Rituxan, and the plasmapheresis, then the Soliris right before I get the transplant. That's in the OR. So that's the plan for me. And then once I get the the transplant, they'll be treating me with
Chris, are you there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Chris? Okay, well, um, she'll be back. The the treatments that she's talking about, Soliris is a prescription medication used to treat adults with a disease called pneumonitis optica spectrum disorder.
hello. I'm so
Ye-
sorry, Uncle
no, it's
Jim.
okay. It's okay. You know, we're here for you, bud. We're going to
Thank
take
you.
good care of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so they're gonna load me up with all that medicine, and then right before I go into the like they put the kidney in me, they're gonna put the Soliris because that's like the powerhouse. That's gonna bring the PRA to zero, non-existent, and then I'll be able to accept the transplant. And then I'll get like two more treatments of the Soliris, and the doctor thinks that with the three treatments combined and the other medications plus the regular transplant medicines, I'll be able to accept the kidney fine. And that's why he has me doing this muscle therapy and uh, getting strong. So that way, if somebody applies for me or I happen to get the call, um, I'll be ready for it,
Okay.
because it's hard enough, with the dialysis, and the dialysis actually causes the muscles to waste. So I've had 5 years of basically muscle wasting, and this is trying to combat and make my muscles strong again. So that way, when if and when I get the call, or if I get a living donor, I'll be able to be healthy. Even though I look
Terrific.
strong, Uncle Jim.
I wanted to ask about one other thing. In
Yes.
my notes, I noticed there's some kind of road trip or treatment that you may have to do in Italy?
No, that's the treatment. That's Soliris actually. I was going. I'm going on a road trip. That's a plan. I was supposed to go Atlanta. My friend in heaven to Italy. That was a goal of ours. But no, my medicine is from Italy. The
Okay.
Soliris is from Italy. It's from a pharmaceutical company in Italy.
And this is the one that you have the coupon for that you mentioned.
Yes, it costs almost $1 million, the medicine. So
Wow.
I was able. I actually called Italy, and I asked them. I told them my story, and they gave me a coupon. An angel at Solaris gave me a coupon. I was able to get a coupon for a whole year. So say if I need it more than 3 times, I have a coupon that doesn't expire.
Okay. Let's talk about the places where you're listed. Let's start with the University of Illinois Health in Chicago. You're listed there, and the lady's name there is Anita. And how do you pronounce her last name?
Pakrasi, Pakrasi.
And Uncle Jim has it spelled wrong too, so I'm going to apologize up front. Her phone number there is 312-355-9820. It's scrolling across your screen as
Yes.
we speak. It's also in the comments to the original broadcast. So if someone wants to test for you, they can call Anita at 312-355-9820. Correct?
Yes. Yes.
All right. And if I remember right, because when we met in person, I met you at Midway Airport in Chicago. You live in the Chicago area, correct?
Yes. Yes, I do.
And I live in Hammond, so I'm close, but I'm not close to New Jersey. And I understand that you're also, hang on, let me get that banner up. There it is. You're also registered at the Hackensack University Medical Center in Hackensack, New Jersey. The lady to call there is Chuli Lou Alvarez, 551-996-3170. That's 551-996-3170. Can you tell us, why did you register so far from home? Why New Jersey?
I I have a an advocate. Her name is Donna Tassad, and my prayers are with her. She couldn't be with us today because her mom passed away. She actually told me to tell you that she was gonna watch it on replay. But I told her not even to worry about that. That to
I'll
worry
make sure
about
she gets
her.
it.
Yes. And so uh she knows a doctor there, I guess that treated a family member of hers, and he is a really good doctor. Actually, I met him, and he's convinced that he uh will be able to help me get a transplant. And he sounded really promising. He's a really I looked up his credentials. He's a really good doctor. And so that's why I decided to get listed there also. Um, they're not far from my family in New York. I actually have family right by the hospital there in New Jersey. So, say if I was to get the call versus other places that I have been listed and took my name off, I have family that I could stay with. So, it's convenient and it's really good, and with a good doctor, a good surgeon. So,
What's the doctor's name?
his name is Dr. Goldstein, and he's the head doctor there at Hackensack Meridian, New Jersey. And
That's a name
he's,
I recognize.
yeah, he's a really good doctor. He's been doing a bunch of research. And he says he told me he specializes in my type of transplant, a high risk transplant, because of my antibodies. And he was really reassuring when I met him, and I have pictures with him too on my page. So yeah, I decided that, you know what, I'll give him a chance too, and hopefully either him or Dr. Benedetti um, will be my heroes.
Okay. Dr. Benedetti is your doc at the University of Illinois in Chicago.
Uh, Dr. Benedetti's like I drive him crazy, but because I ask a lot of questions, you know. But I mean, I know him so well, and for so many years now, I feel like he's like family. And he's transplanted people like, you know, Kim got her transplant from him. Quite a few people. Lana got her transplant from him. I know so many of his patients, and they all done really, really well. And I hope I could stay here to have my transplant and it be Dr. Benedetti. But if I have to go away, I trust my life in Dr. Goldstein's hands.
Okay. And I just want to point out to people again, you've been waiting over 5 years now
It's
for
been
a
such a
kidney
long
transplant.
time. It's been an extremely long time, Uncle Jim, to be able to, you know, wait, just waiting, and not even getting one call, you know, because of my antibodies. People usually get calls pretty fast. I haven't gotten one. Um, I get sad, you know, when I haven't gotten any calls. The people that get listed one day, they get calls the next day. But then I have to sit back and say, you know what, Chris, you have a different story. You have high antibodies, I tell myself. And of course, I'm happy when people get the call, but I also get sad because I've been waiting so long and I haven't even gotten one call. They think that I'll be starting to get a call at least by the end of this year because I've been waiting so long. But I've read that most people like me sometimes wait even longer.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. They do, but 5 years is still a long time. And I want to point out to people, it's not exactly like you've been sitting on the sideline or, just sitting by the phone waiting. Can you talk to us about the efforts that you have made in an attempt to locate a donor, including those on social media? You mentioned Donna.
I have Donna. Jeff Brown was my advocate when he was doing advocacy. I got a hold of NBC 5 News, and they interviewed me and tried to get me a kidney. That was when 2020 happened. I also was on News Nation, um, and Felicia, I'm so sorry, I forgot her last name. She tried helping me to get a transplant. The Chicago Tribune interviewed me and tried to get me a living donor. I mean, I've sent letters, and I've sent my story to so many people. I have a TikTok, I do Instagram. Um, and then I also try helping other people. So I work, you know, I volunteer with the AAKP, and I go to Washington, D.C. When they have those Capitol Hill days. I try doing a lot of educational seminars with them whenever they have them, or with the NFKI, National Kidney Foundation of Illinois. Also, I have volunteer and work with the FDA on different kind of treatments or programs for kidney patients. So I've tried to do different things when I feel better, and if and when, of course, I have to feel good enough to do them, but I usually just force myself and do them anyway, uh, to try to bring awareness to kidney disease and try to help kidney patients in any way I can, especially those starting out. If they could help, it could help them a little bit to prolong their life of their kidney. I would have felt like I did my job.
Well, I know you have a TikTok because I was on your TikTok this morning and you were asking about lunch. And I think you had a better lunch than I did.
Yeah, I had some pasta, believe it or not, and but after I had my pasta, I started feeling sick, and I felt like I have to throw up. Sometimes that happens because of the medicine I take for the uh, kidney disease, for the parathyroid. So sometimes with that medicine, a lot of times I end up throwing up. So but that comes with the territory. There's no other treatment for that, either that or surgery. So I rather throw up than to have surgery.
Here's my Sinisolette.
Yeah, that's what I take. I take
Yeah,
30 milligrams.
what am I
They have me
taking
on
here?
60.
Oh, I take 90.
Wow,
I know
Jim.
these pills are like horse pills. I know that.
And they make you nauseous because they make me very nauseous.
They make me
So
sleepy.
oh, I wish they made me sleepy. Uncle Jim. Yep. So there's some medicines that we have to take that make us sick, and that's one of them. The Sensipar, it makes me really sick. So a lot of people complain about it, but the only other treatment is at an in-center infusion center. So I'll just take that. It's just
Take the
easiest.
pills.
Yeah, just take it.
Talk to
Yeah.
us a little
So
bit about some of the things that Donna has done for you, because I noticed that she posts all the time, and I share her stuff. Just amazing graphics that she's posted, not just for you, but for a number of kidney patients. Talk to us about how she's helped you.
oh my God. So first of all, she picks me up when I'm down. And she's like, Chris, do this. Or Chris, do that. And she pushes you. And you know what? You have to do it. And and not only that, she's gotten me billboards here in Chicago. So I've had billboards here in Chicago where people have seen it. Oh, I've had billboards also. I've had billboards in the city, and Donna's gotten me them on the highway, digital billboards. So she's done that for me. Um, she's really, really on top of the people that try to apply for me. So she keeps a list of the names because sometimes I'm so tired I can't even think straight. So she keeps a list of everything and everybody, and not only for me, but for everybody else that she helps too. I mean, she has a heart of gold, and she helps us kidney patients, and like I'm not the only one she has billboards for. There's other people too. So she's done that. She's gotten people living donors. Like her numbers are really, really good. The amount of
Outstanding.
I mean, I'm like, wow, So she says, Chris, I'm not giving up on you. I know that we're gonna help you, and I'm gonna help you get a kidney transplant. So she really keeps me going, honestly speaking. When I want to give up on myself, she keeps me going.
Yeah. You have friends, Jonathan Traylor and Willie Blackwell left notes. Just want to say
Thank
hello.
you.
And
Thank you.
Elder Willie Blackwell and his family are saying, hang in there.
Yeah,
God got you. Keep on
Willie,
posting to your personal page, and I will forward. Way to go, Willie.
Yeah, he's always sharing my stuff, and we talk on the phone. We've talked on the phone in the past, and um, he told me he's gonna try to use his platform to see what he could do and help me get a kitty. So he's gonna share this for sure. I have so many angels out there that try to help me. You're one of them, Uncle Jim.
Uh,
I'm sorry, I've been just a
no, it's
mess.
okay. It's okay. Let me put it to you this way, Chris. This is your broadcast. So whatever you want to say, whatever you want to do is cool with me. And
I'm
I
sorry.
know this has been an ordeal for you. That's why I wanted to have you on, and I wanted you to talk to us and tell your story.
I was tired. I get tired, sometimes, and I just try to disappear, and I don't get on Facebook because I'm so sad, and then I have something that tells me, Christine, just don't give up. Keep on going, keep on fighting, get on Facebook, share your things. Donna will call me and just randomly check on me and say, Chris, I posted something on your page. Share it, and it'll like snap me out of like whatever sadness I got going on.
Well,
It's just a journey, that it's not for the how you say, it's for the strong-hearted people, because this is just a hard journey for us.
I just want you to know that I shared this broadcast, this live broadcast, to all 100 of my Facebook groups and to my 4 or 5 pages that are still working. And I'm going to try and share your replay to over 200 pages on Facebook. Okay, I want to make sure
Thank
that
you.
that people see it
Thank
because
you,
you're
Uncle
my
Jim.
you're my friend, and I sincerely want you to get your transplant.
Thank you, Uncle Jim. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I
You know,
appreciate the opportunity to be on here today.
okay, I've got one more
Yes.
set of questions, and I know you're upset, but can you talk to us a little bit about your friend Lana Schmidt, on the
Um,
board of directors with the American Association of Kidney Patients, a real nice lady.
Lana was my sister. That's what she said in the hospital when she had procedures or whatever, and I would go pick her up. I was her sister. Um, she was so much to me, and we had plans, but having kidney disease changed that. And 2 weeks ago, she took her last breath and went to heaven with the angels. And it's just been so hard because I feel like I'm all alone now. I used to be able to call her when I was sad or feeling down, and she's not here anymore, Uncle Jim. She's gone.
Oh, yeah.
She
Well,
was like my
Chris,
person to call.
you're not alone, Chris. You have so many friends out there that know you and love you. I've had so many people contact me this week. When's the broadcast? When is Chris going to be on? We want to hear
Thank
what
you
Chris
guys.
has to say.
Thank you. And Lana's an angel on heaven watching over us, and um, she was such a good person. She had such a positive attitude, and she her number one was Jesus, and that's my number one before anything. And she just went. She I had actually talked to her the night before, and she was supposed to be coming to Chicago because she wasn't feeling good, and I didn't know the severity of her sickness. because I tried forcing her to get on the train to come up to Chicago or go to the hospital where she was at. And the next day after dialysis, I text her and I said, "Are you in Chicago?" And I got a text back saying, "Oh, this is her friend Patty, and uh, she died." And I'm like, "What? How could that even happen?" Like we talked last night, and I just been a mess since that, Uncle Jim, because she was my little confidant, my prayer warrior. We would get on the phone and start talking something and end up praying for like 1, 2, 3 hours, just talking to our phones died about God, and she's not here anymore. And I know that I have you guys, and I had your broadcast scheduled, and I asked God to just let me feel well enough to be able to make it through the day to get through to the broadcast, because as you know, a lot of times we start out our day feeling well, and then we end up at the nighttime just feeling horrible.
Mhm.
And that happens quite a bit too to me. Sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna go somewhere, and I end up not going because I feel so terrible. Feel weak, feel tired, um, exhaustion. Just I feel better with my pillow. um,
Mhm.
you know, I'm comfy with my pillow. I'm okay. If I don't have to go out. But I felt well enough tonight to talk to you and get through this broadcast and appreciate the opportunity. And I feel like maybe my angels out there listening to me and going to help me to get my transplant.
I hope so. I want to tell the folks they should go to YouTube and type in your name, Chris Ann Hernandez, because you have done so many YouTube videos. And all the links to those videos are listed in that information in the comments to this broadcast on my Facebook page. And as I mentioned, you also have a TikTok account. So I've
I
been,
have a TikTok. I have an Instagram that's linked to the Facebook. On TikTok, of course, it's a different following, but a lot of my Facebook friends are on there. Um, but I have people, a bunch of people just trying to help me. And Dr. Goldstein said, my kidney transplant is like basically one in a million, because I have so many um, antibodies. But he says it does happen once a year. There's one person once a year that's available for me. So there's people out there. There's one person that would be able to give me a kidney. That's what he claims, and that's what Dr. Benedetti claims too. So I have to trust them that even though I haven't gotten it, there's one person out there that is my match.
well, let's hope this gets you a little bit closer
Thank you.
to
Thank you, Uncle
to,
Jim.
to finding your match. I always ask this question of my guests. Do you have any final statements that you would like to make to our audience? Did I forget anything? Is there something you feel is important that you'd like to impart?
Just giving me a chance to live for my children, have a better quality of life, and to be able to keep on helping people like me in another capacity. I mean, I just want a chance to live. It means so much to my family and to myself. Um, Life is beautiful. Life is too short, and there's somebody out there that could give me a kidney and be my match. I pray that that one person listens to this broadcast and is able to find it in their heart to take that step and apply.
I hope so too. mother of 4 children, suffers from a hereditary disease that's not her fault. The registered nurse, an angel that tries to help people when they come into this world, and palliative care when they go out. This is a person worth saving. So what I want you to do is share this broadcast, share it on your personal page, message your friends that don't have kidney disease. Let's try to make a genuine effort to help Chris. And I promise you, Chris, I'm going to post this on all the platforms that I'm on. And I'm going to try very hard to make sure that this broadcast gets seen.
Thank you,
Okay?
Uncle Jim. Thank you. God bless you, Uncle Jim. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, my friend.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to let you go, Chris. I have some things I have to button up with our audience, but I really appreciate you taking the time to come on and talk to us. And I think that we genuinely raised a little awareness tonight for kidney disease in general. I've never had anybody on that had a MUC1 condition before, so this is a first for the broadcast. And I think that we helped educate some folks tonight, and that means a lot to me.
Thank you, Uncle Jim. Thank you. And I'll talk to you, okay?
Okay, you take care,
Facebook
Chris.
and see you in Washington,
Anytime,
D.C.
Chris. You
Okay.
need something or you just feel like talking, get in touch.
Thank you, Uncle Jim.
All right. You take care, my
All
friend.
right. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. That's our show for this evening. If you're looking for a transplant, be sure you contact Kidney Solutions and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I've been posting that a lot lately. And I appreciate you watching. So thank you for watching. Our guest next week is another kidney patient, Jamie Imhoff. Quite an advocate, a little bit of a spitfire there. So that should be an interesting broadcast. You don't want to miss it. Same time next week. So great broadcast tonight with our friend Christine. Please, please, please share the broadcast. Let's let Christine know that we're genuinely trying to help her. Okay? All right. I thank you for watching the broadcast. I'll see you next week. Watch this space. We got some interesting things going on.